Good afternoon, and thank you so much for tuning in to What's Going On. My name is Dr. James Gilmore, and again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this afternoon edition of What's Going On, where we talk about what's going on in our community, in our city, the state, the nation, and the world. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we are continuing our series of conversations around employment and employment opportunities. And we have a great state agency, one of our greatest state agencies, and I have a love for wildlife and fisheries because, as many of you all know, I love to fish. I love wildlife. And so today it gives me great pleasure to have representatives from the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Department here on the show to talk about jobs and opportunities. You know, many of us might not have ever thought about seeking employment at the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. So I was glad when an old friend of mine, Ed Pratt, he hit me up and he said, hey, I noticed that you're having lots of shows about employment opportunities and how to access jobs, and you're exposing people to various careers. And he said, why don't you bring on the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries? And I said, what a great idea. So today I have with me Lieutenant Ryan Fall. How are you, Lieutenant?
Good, and yourself? Good to be here.
Thank you for coming. As well as Corporal Anthony Corner. How you doing, Corporal?
I'm doing great, sir.
Great, great, great. I look forward to this conversation. So for those few people, and maybe more than a few, who don't know what the Louisiana Department of Wildlife Fisheries is and what you all are responsible for, give our listening audience a breakdown of the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, your purpose, your mission, and what you actually do.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and handle that. And you know, our mission, the department as a whole, Anthony and I are here, we're both two recruiters for our enforcement division. Okay. We have several different divisions within our department. But our department-wide mission is going to be to manage, conserve, and promote wise utilization of Louisiana's renewable fish and wildlife resources and their supporting habitat through replenishment, protection, enhancement, research, development, education, social and economic benefit for current and future generations.
Wow, so a lot.
We do a lot of different stuff, and like I said, we have several different divisions, which include our wildlife division, which is going to handle most of our wildlife stuff. We'll have a fisheries division, and of course, we'll have our enforcement division, which is the division that Anthony and I both work in.
Okay, so it sounds like the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, and I'm going to just summarize it from in my own way. You're here to take care and preserve the wildlife and the fisheries that are in Louisiana, ensure that they are replenished and protected, and also do socially responsible things by ensuring that people, citizens of Louisiana and tourists, respect and care for our wildlife and fisheries, as well as enjoy the benefits of our wildlife and fisheries. And so to me and others out there, this might sound like a great place to work. First, also tell us a little bit about who you are. What do you do for the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries?
So, like you mentioned, my name is Ryan Fall. I'm a full-time recruiter for the enforcement division, and my coworker here, Anthony Corner, is also the other full-time recruiter.
Okay.
So just
and what do you all do in the enforcement division?
In the enforcement division, we're game wardens, right?
Gotcha.
We enforce. We do a multitude of things. We have one of the most comprehensive law enforcement jobs there is out there, because we wear so many different hats. Of course, we enforce all of the hunting rules. We do all of the fishing stuff, both recreationally, commercially. We enforce all of our migratory game bird acts. We're duly commissioned. We carry a state commission as well as a federal commission. So we can work different Lacey Act violations. We can work offshore. We also do all the stuff that police officers do. Whenever we encounter a situation, our comprehensive training allows us to handle anything that we come across.
Okay.
which we don't have any specialized sections. Whenever an agent gets out off of FTO, they can handle any situation that arise.
Okay.
One of the most, things that goes unnoticed a lot is we also serve as a primary search and rescue agency for the state in times of hurricanes, natural disasters, that type of stuff. We respond to areas that are impacted because of our specialized equipment, because of our specialized training, where we're usually the first boots on the ground in those areas of need. So to put one title on what we do, it's kind of difficult to do because we wear so many different hats throughout the course of the day.
And how long have you been with the agency?
I've been in my 17th year right now.
Okay. And Corporal?
I'm in my 7th year, and my current role, I'm the internship coordinator, but that encompasses so many, other duties, being a recruiter and also being focused on retention. One of the things besides the statewide internship program that I do, we partner with MINERIC, which is this organization is minorities in
natural
yeah,
resources.
so MINERIC is Minorities in Natural Resources and Conservation. We're full of acronyms in this organization. I'm gonna try to stay away from them, but I'm so accustomed to them. That's a subcommittee of SEFWA, which is the Southeastern Fish and Wildlife Association.
Gotcha.
And our focus in MINERIC is basically to get more people in the field of conservation. So we 15 states, 2 U.S. territories. We're hosting any professional development opportunities, mock interviews, and we actually, each year, this conference moves from state to state. Last year we was in Charleston, West Virginia. This year we're going to be in Corpus Christi, Texas. And the students come out, no expense to them. The only thing they have to do is take the initiative to apply. And once they apply, we have a committee that's going to review those applications. And this is an effort to make sure, that we're providing the tools to excel and succeed for minority applicants to make their transition into conservation.
Okay, I absolutely want to talk more about that as we get into the show, because an opportunity for minorities to intern and gain exposure and experience in natural resources is absolutely an opportunity, especially being that we have Southern University right here, the only HBCU system in the world. That might be a great opportunity for those students or future students to take advantage of.
Yes, sir.
So where's the Wildlife and Fisheries office located at? That also, where's that located?
2000 Quail Drive off of Perkins.
So right here in Baton Rouge.
That's going to be our main headquarters location, and we have 8 different
field offices throughout the state.
Okay, so you have eight offices throughout the state.
Yes,
you're lucky enough or unlucky enough to not be downtown.
Yes,
so
sir.
so if you're looking for the State Office of Wildlife and Fisheries at one of the buildings downtown, you're not in the right location. You got to go off on Quail Drive.
Well, beware of Perkins also, because Perkins can be congested also.
Right. So what are some jobs that you're hiring for currently, or that folks should consider in working? Pull that microphone. There you go. Yeah.
So our primary focus is going to be for wildlife agents, but we can direct, applicants to any other jobs we may have for our department.
Okay.
Our position for wildlife agent, it just recently closed May 22nd, I want to say. It posted May 22nd. It closed June 11th.
Okay.
So we're in our selection process right now.
Okay.
But in order to become a wildlife agent, for anyone who may be, think about it in the future, we have 3 qualifiers, and you just have to meet one of them.
But what does a wildlife agent do?
So we're going to be that protection component of, our biologists, they're going to go out, they're going to do our surveys, they're going to collect the data. We're going to be the ones that go out there and enforce those rules, those regulations. And in times of natural disaster, we're going to be the ones that's going to respond for those search and rescue efforts.
Okay, so when you say biologist, you enforce, so if a biologist, that's a job within your agency,
yes, sir,
says we have plenty of redfish available, let's allow people to be able to catch 20 redfish, you all will be the folks to go out there to ensure that we don't have more than 20.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
gotcha.
But that narrative is, working.
It's totally the opposite. Exactly. I know. Because he's changing colors right here. He's changing colors. He's changing colors right here. I fish, so I know that you all are trying to decrease the amount that we can catch. Okay, I know you all are trying to decrease that, but that is based on research from biologists
Yes, sir.
and others who work for the department that come and tell you our redfish population is depleting. We need to do more, place more restrictions.
Yes, sir.
And you, as wildlife agents, go out there and enforce those restrictions.
Yes, sir. And our biologists, they're going to be broke down into either our wildlife division or they're going to be broke down into our fisheries division. And then we also have a licensing section, which falls underneath our management, which is going to be our HR, our property control, and everybody to make sure that, you know, we're spending our money and, you know, and protecting all our assets properly. And then you have the enforcement guys who we're going out there in the boats, the four-wheelers, and making sure everyone's following.
Guys or girls?
People. Yes, sir. People.
Guys
Following
or
rules.
Because I have a few people on my Facebook page that are female that say they want to be a
Yes, sir.
wildlife agent.
Yes, sir.
So how much does a wildlife agent pay? What's the starting pay for that?
So hourly is going to be $22.41.
Okay, that's not bad. $22.41
to a little bit over $46,000 a year. After you graduate the academy, you're going to get a 7%.
Oh, so what are those requirements? You have to go through an academy.
Yes, sir. So our academy is approximately 6 months.
You and your microphone. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
I told you I was going to try not to wiggle too much on you. I apologize about that.
You're perfect right now.
So 6 months is the so the length is that long. I know a lot of people probably wondering because the regular post is 14 weeks.
Okay.
Well, we do the regular post academy, but you also have the wildlife and fishery component of it, you know, also. So it comes up to about 24 weeks is what we try to keep it as. Mine was 31 weeks, but that's kind of, you know, the anomaly. Typically, it's about 24 weeks in the academy, and that's that learning environment. A lot of people think it's some type of prerequisite, like you have to be this expert fisherman like yourself, or you have to be, you know, the best outdoorsman. We have excellent trainers. We have an amazing training staff. If you come with a desire and the commitment, a curiosity, a passion to want to serve your state, we can get you over there. And we have 24 long weeks to train people on how to become wildlife and fishery agents.
Very good. So what's the process? You mentioned the academy. Of course, you got to apply first somewhere, right?
So we'll go kind of work it backwards,
Okay.
I guess. The first step in that process is going to be to meet those qualifiers, right?
Gotcha.
Either 60 college hours
60 college hours.
or 4 years of continuous active duty military service,
Okay.
or 2 years of law enforcement, post-certified law enforcement with arrest powers.
Okay.
That'll qualify you. From that point, what you're going to do is take the civil service exam. You're going to get a minimum score on that civil service exam. Once you have that, you're eligible to apply once a job opening comes up.
Gotcha.
So it's right now it's a short time frame. So on our end in the recruiting realm, we're trying to do things out ahead. So we have several different things that we're working on. One being a ride along program. So we take individuals that have a passing PSE score, and we bring
that's
them.
the state civil service, right?
That's the state.
PSC.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Once they get that passing score, we'll bring them in, and they'll interview with the region captain, and they'll be eligible to conduct 2 ride-alongs. That's designed to create awareness as far as what we do. Not a lot of people know what we do. There's historically a lot of game wardens came from that hunting and fishing background, which Anthony was alluding to. But we're having to move outside of that to sustain what we have. I'm a prime example of it. I never hunted, never fished very little growing up, and I still don't. I was just blessed enough to go to a job fair one day where I met 2 recruiters.
Wow. Well, that's a good testimony because, you know, again, most people that I know, you know, they may think that you need to be an avid hunter or fisherman in order to work at wildlife and fisheries. What you're saying is that, you know, you meet the minimum requirements that you just mentioned as it relates to education or military or post-certified experience, and then have a willing and open attitude to learn and be trained, and you can develop folks to do your job.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what exactly where we're moving towards. You know, going towards the ride along program. We're also involving internship programs, which he and we've been running for about 2 years now. We're working with 7 different universities across the state. We've run a total of 10 interns.
Very good.
Through the program, and Anthony will speak to that internship program a little bit. But our goal in our section is to create awareness as far as what we do as game wardens, because you can't apply to be a game warden. You're not going to have the desire to be a game warden unless that desire gets sparked somewhere.
And you have to pass a criminal background check?
And a criminal background check as well.
Drug screen as well?
Drug screen as well.
Okay.
Similar to what it would take to get hired for any other state law enforcement agency.
Gotcha. Okay. We've talked about the great things that you enjoy about your job. What are some of the things that people like least about working? As recruiters, I'm sure you have to, be able to discern and assess what are both the great things about working for wildlife and fisheries, and what are some things you want to tell folks that, hey, if this is something that you don't enjoy, then you may not want to apply. What are some of the things that you want folks to know?
Number one, first and foremost, I'm going to jump on it before Anthony does. We're always fighting for who's going to speak. You should see us in our office.
You have to be competitive to come work for the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries.
And you have to have a good sense of humor.
Very good, yes. And by the way, they both, I've been with them. They came here early, by the way, so not sure if arriving to work early is a requirement, but they arrived about 40 minutes early for this interview. So and they've been hilarious ever since they've been here. But what is something you want to ensure people know that as a part of your culture, that you must be able to do this, or you may not be a good fit, or here are some real life things about being an agent that you might want to know before you apply?
Definitely the environment that you work in.
Okay.
We work in some very harsh conditions at times, whether it be in a vessel in the dead of summer or in a vessel in the dead of winter. We work a lot alone. We work a lot at night alone. So you having the ability to be able to be outdoors, be in the elements consistently, be able to ride in those vessels, ride in these on these four-wheelers, because that does start to wear on agents after a while. So if that's an issue initially, that's something that's going to probably compound.
Is there a physical required to? Okay. So drug screen, background check, and physical is required.
Yes,
for
sir.
that position.
And that physical assessment's going to be push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile-and-a-half run, depending on you.
I'm done. I'll just keep fishing then.
And we also have a swim requirement. Where
I start swimming lessons next week. So.
Really?
Okay, yeah.
So which is critical because we do work in vessels so much. Basically, it's designed to demonstrate that you have the ability to be in the water, tread for a brief period of time, swim under the rope, and swim the length of the pool.
I'm very glad I asked that question, because those are some things that are very important that people know the type of environment that they're going to be in as an agent or game warden.
So something else that comes up is work-life balance, and that's not necessarily comes up like something that agents necessarily don't like about their job, but it comes up in the recruiting pool. People want to know, well, what's my work-life balance, and what that looks like. We work a long week and a short week. So on long week, the days you're going to work Monday, Tuesday, you're going to be off Wednesday, Thursday, and then you're going to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Gotcha.
The next week, you're going to be off Monday, Tuesday, only work Wednesday, Thursday, and then off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
we get leave also. So the work-life balance, just like anything, if you have it out of balance and you focusing too much on taking leave and being off, it's going to lower that work production. You're going to have some problems there. Whereby if you're just working, it's going to hurt that home life. One of my mentors early on told me it's certain things you can't get back. So you want to make sure that you keep that work-life balance. Our job, we showed up 40 minutes early because we love what we do. We was ready to talk about recruiting and retention in our great department. You can see how they can quickly have my wife a little upset if I'm at home 2 hours sitting on the back patio talking about work. It doesn't change when you're in the field. When you're in the field, you're trying to get that next case. Once you kind of get that bug to go out there and make those big cases and protect the resources, it's just like any other thing. It's a passion, and you got to make sure you keep that work-life balance balanced. If not, something will get out of whack.
Okay. Besides, and I think you said you could probably speak on other opportunities or other positions. What else is out there in the department besides your enforcement division? Are there other positions out there that may pique folks' interest? I know I had someone online ask about an administrative floor position. You know, I had folks ask about maybe research or I think I might have been talking to someone that worked in your department, and they mentioned you all have a lot of research and biologist positions. Do you want to talk about those?
So something that often get overlooked in the realm of criminal justice is dispatchers, which are our communication officers.
Okay.
We're always trying to fill a need for our dispatchers. That's the hub for an agent. We have a computer-aided dispatch, but they're the one tracking our locations, making sure we're safe out there.
Okay.
So if you have a desire to put that criminal justice degree to use,
Yeah.
or actually be a component of criminal justice, dispatch is one of those hubs that's kind of always overlooked. You're thinking about agents and officers, but it's somebody on the other end of that radio making sure we come home at night.
That sounds like a pretty good position for someone who maybe doesn't want to, work in a vessel or have to swim a mile. That sounds like a pretty good position.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
and
dispatcher.
So for us, it's not going to be listed as dispatcher. It's going to be communication officer, and I want to say communication officer 1.
Okay.
So that's something in our department I know that I want to promote more, because we have a great dispatch team, and we're always looking for good people to make sure we're safe.
Good. Any other position in the department that you?
We're a full-blown state agency, so everything that from all of these the biologist research positions, all of these coordinator positions, all of our finance positions, anything that you would expect in a typical state department, we have.
Gotcha.
We're a very large agency.
So you have office jobs, not just wildlife, not just out of the wildlife.
We're
jobs.
only a small portion of wildlife and fisheries. There's a much bigger component.
Yeah, and you mentioned you have 8 offices across the state.
Yes,
it sounds like so. The positions that you have available, they may or may not be here in Baton Rouge. You'd have to go visit the website to identify any jobs that may be in different areas of the state.
The way that process works is it's going to be job opening dependent. If you have agents that are retiring or that agents that we lose through attrition, once it gets to a certain amount, we'll run an academy.
Gotcha.
Once that determination is made that we need to run an academy, they'll see where these openings are at.
Gotcha.
And whenever you apply, you'll be check whatever parishes that you're willing to go to.
Gotcha. That's what you do then.
Whenever you get your job offer, you know exactly what parish that you're going to be assigned to.
Perfect. So where does one go to find job positions and availabilities?
So that's the question I've been waiting for,
Okay.
because that process.
And I'm glad that you answered before he did.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep fighting for this time, So that's the one thing for the agent process. It works exactly like Ryan said. But if you're looking for anything like biologists or some of our office jobs, our civil service website is a great website. Once you get acclimated to it, but for new users, if you don't sign up for the job subscriptions, you may miss out.
Okay.
So I like to tell everybody, you go in, you put your
Go in
email.
where?
So you go into state civil service.
Okay, so you haven't said yet go to Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries website for jobs. So don't even start. You can go there to learn about the organization, but you want folks to go to the state civil service site.
So our site, we're going to advertise jobs, but once you click on them, they redirect you back to state civil service website.
Gotcha.
So you go in there and you set up a job subscription. You put your email in, and at that point you can check parishes and either job categories or specific jobs that you're interested in.
Good.
And every day, like clockwork, at 8 o'clock and about 5 o'clock, they're going to do a push of all the jobs for that day.
Perfect.
Those jobs.
Opportunities to train you and develop you. You don't have to be an avid hunter or fisherman to apply and qualify for positions. Look at the qualifications, however, when you go to the website, and if you meet those, then apply. And and hopefully you'll have an opportunity to interview and go to the academy and become a part of the organization. Go
I'd
ahead.
like to just piggyback right quick on what you were saying about civil service. I would also encourage people to go ahead and go to that civil service website and take a civil service exam.
Okay.
Because one of the biggest hurdles that we see time and time